Yo, 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 what's good? Welcome back to another episode of Assassin 4. Tonight we gonna be with the big three. Of course, I'm your boy Dre from PG. And over here we got my boy, the biggest plug in Charlotte, T Hash. What's good with you, man?
What's good with you, bro?
Then of course we got D Dr. Esquire Dave. What's going on with you, homie?
Not much, man. A lot going on in the sports. Let's get to it.
Yeah, man. So like Dave, so let's just get straight into it. As you know, I know a lot of people got the notifications today. Breaking news: the Dallas Mavericks has fired GM Nico Harrison after what seems to be the debacle of the Luka Dončić trade, him going to the Lakers and then bringing over AD. AD has already been missing games due to injuries, and it seems there's just been a bad vibe in Dallas since that trade. Of course, they did get the number one pick in Cooper Flagg in the lottery last year, and then Kyrie hasn't played a game yet because he's still dealing with an ACL injury that he sustained last season. So I guess what's your thoughts? I mean, I guess we kind of felt like this was coming, right, guys?
Yeah, I mean, eventually, especially with a 3-8 start. But I thought that maybe with getting the number one pick and getting Cooper Flag was gonna help be able to buy his time back, be able to kind of save his job. So, but just the bad start and the injuries, and it doesn't help that I think Luka's leading the league in scoring right now. I think, or is at least top three.
Hmm.
So, that doesn't help. And yeah, like Dallas, you could have made an argument that Dallas is one of the best is a top four team in the West going before we went into the season. Now it's not looking like that. And in my opinion, with like the injury, to Kyrie, like not having Kyrie right now does hurt, but also AD being hurt, Clay not performing like we thought he would, Cooper playing kind of out of position in my opinion. I don't think it was smart to put him at point guard because there's nothing that really shown that it looked nice in the preseason, but there was nothing that really showed me in college that he could do that on a even like a 70 or 80% basis. So I think that there's just been like a little bit of mismanagement, or there's been really a lot of mismanagement of the roster. And I think with Nico, and this is what's going to happen when you make a trade like that. When you trade an international superstar like Luka, it better work out for you. And I think what Nico wanted was that he wanted that long term, like I told you so moment. He was kind of banking on my team is still going to be good, and Luka's going to go to LA and regress, and we haven't seen like any sign of that. So and the reasons why, and what we talked about on a previous episode on why could Nico possibly trade Luka, you know make like and we talked about the front office saying that Luka became bigger than the franchise or was getting bigger than the franchise. Well, I mean, he's an international superstar. He's an international superstar. He's an All NBA player that just took you to the finals. It's on you to be able to manage that. To you be able to manage that. He's a guy that is in his like mid 20s, about to like just now entering his prime, and you're gonna trade that away, and how you traded it, how you made that trade, you didn't even get like the best pieces back. Like we said that like a guy like Austin Reeves should have been part of that deal, especially
Hmm.
if you're trading away one of your guards and Luca. So I mean I don't I mean like this is just kind of just the result of it. Like you have a bad start. You're not looking. Things don't look like they will. Cause when Kyrie comes back or when like things are not gonna exactly like change. This you know it's just bad cohesion right now.
T, do you think it was premature? Because what do you think Dallas was doing when they fired Nico? Because in my opinion, I think it was coming, but I was going to see if they was going to at least wait for Kyrie to come back to see if they can salvage the season first. and then decided they was going to get rid of Nico. But it seems like there might be some things going on behind the scenes. I don't know if anything, but maybe there was some things, or maybe it's because, we 3 weeks, less than a month into the NBA season, we already got fired Nico Chance at home games. So, that was a big distraction for the Mavericks. So do you think that kind of was what kind of led to his dismissal from his job, or do you think there might have been other things behind the scenes that it was time for Nico to let Nico go?
I definitely think there was. You have these new owners, because people forget Mark Cuban's not the owner anymore,
Mm-hmm.
or the majority owner. So you have this new guy, Dumont. They don't know what they're doing. They're not basketball people, right? So Nico was the fall guy, even though the ownership signed off on it. Nico said it was his decision and his only, which we know isn't true because anytime, especially in sports, the owner has to sign off on anything before things get done. And then the reaction of the fans, Nico had to get a whole lot of security, a whole lot of death threats. There was a photo, and I don't know if it was from last year or this year, but there was a fan sitting beside the owner of the Mavericks with a Luka Lakers jersey on.
Oh
Asking
yeah,
him
I saw
why.
that. Yeah, I think I think that was last night
Yeah,
or
it
sometime.
might have been last. And you said you get them on pick, but the Cooper Flagg at point guard experiment hasn't panned out. He's been getting progressively better each week. It just hasn't worked out. Kyrie's out. D'Lo's D'Lo. Clay is washed for a number of reasons. We won't get into all that, but he's lost his edge, or his edge is being literally drained from him.
He's worried about taking care of stallions at the ranch, man. That's all he's thinking about right now.
Yeah, so Dallas, they're a mess, and you got to think about it. Charlotte has their 2027 first round pick next year. I don't think they have a first round pick until 2031 after this year.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw what I posted in the chat, but yeah, between y'all, the Nets, and like a couple other teams, they don't own their picks until 2031. So when you make a trade like this, of course you got to win now, like immediately. It's not one of those like we can sit and wait. You traded a top 5 player in the league that's still in his not even he just turned 26, I think. So he's not even 30 yet. He's been to 5 first team all NBA teams or whatever. So he's as a singular player, he's already, such a great talent. And then what you got back in that trade, it just scratches a lot of people. Like he got fleeced. Like Rob Pelinka fleeced the hell out of that man. Like, and we said on the show last time, it's like there's no way you just got Anthony Davis out of that trade. And we understand he's a talent, but he's such a liability because he's already injured. He's missed like a week and probably plus more of game time already. On top of that, not only is Luka killing over there in the Lakers, Austin Reeves is killing it over there in the Lakers jersey too. So 2 people that could have been really associated with a trade are doing well, and then the one piece that you got back from it's not panning out. And your whole reason for trading Luka was because defense. All you think you was talking about was defense, and Luka was out of shape. Well, Mavs defense is not all that crapped up to be. I understand y'all have injuries, but Kyrie's not much of a defensive maker. Like you already said, Klay Thompson is washed. D'Lo don't play no defense. Anthony Davis is going to be in and out of the lineup. So where's the defense going to come from, Dave? Like what defenses are they talking about?
Not only that, I saw something earlier. They said that Jason Kidd might move to the front office because you could tell he was pissed.
Oh yeah. Like Jason Kidd's one. He's like me. I can never play a game of poker a day in my life because my emotions, you can see the emotions on my face. And the way they had Kidd at that press conference after the Luka trade, you could just tell that he did not want to be there.
Around that team. So they might be in the lottery again this coming year. And like I said, Jason Kidd is going to be a part of that.
And I think honestly that's what they might have to bank on because you might need 2 lottery picks to really pan out to kind of equal the impact that Luka had. Because and it's kind of crazy because we talk about this. It's like the Cooper Flag of bust allegations has already surfaced on the internet, and we always talk about it's like you literally gotta give some players time, especially when Cooper Flag is not even supposed to be running the point guard in the first place. Like what he was doing in college sometimes is going to be a learning curve when he gets to the league. You got him playing out of position. He really should be playing the 4/3 rather than the 1 because he's just athletic. He's what 6'8", 6'9", athletic. He plays his calling cards really should be on the defensive side more than what they try and worry about what he's doing on the offensive side. But you could just tell Jason Kidd's just trying to figure it out. But like you both alluded to, just mismanagement, players not living up to their expectations. It's really just plug and play at this point. They just trying to find wins as they can before Kyrie comes back. But ACL, even though the medicine and the terminology has improved over the year, you still going to take time just for him to get in game shape playing on that ACL. And we know Kyrie Irving's history. He's a bona fide great superstar, but what if he gets another injury just coming back from the ACL injury? We just don't know. He has an injury history as well. So I don't know, man. It just seems real bad for the Dallas Mavericks right now.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed that Kyrie is just going to come back and light it up. I mean, that's the expectation that he'll come back to what it was before he got hurt. But you don't, like you were saying, we don't know that. So, like the Mavericks really just are doing an unnecessary rebuild when they didn't really have to. When all you had to do, last season I know like Luka was hurt for like a couple months. I think
Mm-hmm.
in like December and January,
Yeah,
he had some injuries. But I mean that's like one season, and we see where Luka's at now. So you could like you could have ended up and the result of last season was still playing and not really and not making the playoffs. So I mean, with Luka, all you had to do was just kind of just have role players, like just build around Luka, and and now you're in a position where now it's okay. I'm in a rebuild. I don't know the next time I'm going to be able to compete for a championship because now the team is built around Cooper Flag, and like Clay's at the end of his career. We don't know what AD we're gonna have moving forward, really for the rest of this season or next
that
year. So it's like okay, we're now gonna have to just embrace being at the bottom of the West and have to rebuild.
that Texas barbecue took over AD, man. He fell for
Yeah,
it. He fell for the trap, man.
yeah. I mean, Luca had that Texas barbecue too, and still was averaging 30. So
I mean, but that's the difference. I mean, yes, was Luka always playing kind of out of shape? Yes, but the production was there. It was kind of valid. It was just our question was, is that going to be winning basketball? Because like you said, it did take them to a championship 2 years ago. They lost to the Boston Celtics in what, 5 games?
yeah,
So that wasn't sustainable. But we just knew, even with Luka coming in hot, but we just knew the Boston Celtics was a better team. They
yeah.
had a better defensive scheme, and all they had to do was just shut down Luka Dončić down. So that's all they really had to do, and that's all they had to really worry about. And I think last year they was just too hasty. They was like, oh, we made it to the champ, we gotta go right back. Sometimes it don't happen like that. We can look at football teams, and shoot, I can even look at my own football team to kind of correlate to this example. It's like when you get success that came out of nowhere, it's like, oh, we gotta do something to sustain it, or we gotta make a move to kind of capture what we got. But sometimes the best thing is just to stay pat because some teams get to where they are because they just had good momentum and things just fell in place for them to get that far. You feel me?
Yeah.
When the Heat made their run, things had to fall in place. Giannis had to get hurt. There was multiple injuries. Jason Tatum got hurt, like stuff like that. But the difference between us and the Mavs is we didn't trade goddamn Jaden Daniels because we felt like we need. I know we need more defense, but we didn't trade Jaden Daniels away and then only get back a running back because we just need more deep. So it's stuff like that. It was just one of those things where I just feel like Rob Pelinka got that man drunk at a luncheon, and it's like, hey, yo, man, like just trade me Luka. I give you Anthony Davis. I promise you, he's healthier. He's going to be that defensive anchor you needed. You got Kyrie, man. Just go ahead, come on, man. And Nico's like, F it, man. I'm a prove people I'm smarter than everybody. Everybody going to hate me, but they going to love me again. Nico.
That's what it was.
Nico.
And to your point about staying packed, I mean, look at what OKC did. They lost to Dallas in the second round. You don't get rid of Chet. You don't get rid of SGA. You keep J-Dub, and you just add Caruso and Hartenstein. And then, voila, you're in the finals and you win a championship. Think about even like before Boston won. They were talking about breaking up Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown.
For years.
Yeah. Keep them together. Just add some pieces around them. Boom, a championship. So the best thing to do is just build around what you have. Because, like, look, man, Luka was 25 when you made that trade. Like, you and just entering your prime. Build around him. And, like, superstars end up bigger than the franchise sometimes, man. Like, I'm not comparing Luka to any of these guys, but when you look back, like, Michael Jordan was bigger than the Chicago Bulls. Shaq and Kobe was bigger than the Lakers. LeBron was bigger than Cleveland. The Big Three was bigger than Miami. Like, it happens. Just manage. I mean, it's your job to manage it.
That's how the NBA is pretty much tailored. It's not like the NFL where the NFL is all about the shield and the team.
Yeah.
Like they wear the names of the players stuff, but they wear their helmets. And if you're not with the team or you trying to be all about you would get replaced in a hurry because they will find somebody to put you in the system. In the NBA, you are the damn system.
Yeah.
So if he was getting over the franchise, like we seen that environment, we seen people worse than Luka who thought they were bigger than a franchise, and you just had to go through that. That's what it is. Like people come to see that star player, and you had one of the best star players and one of the most box office players in your city, and you got rid of him for somebody that people barely don't even want to watch. And Kyrie's out, so now it's just like Cooper Flagg is cool and everything, and we're not saying, and he can still be a great player, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah. I mean, Flagg, his last game, I think he had like 26 and 10 or something. So I mean,
last game was his last game was his best game I've seen him play.
He's just completely out of position though. But he was never a point guard. Like he has the ability to play make, but to consistently do it and initiate offense, we've seen him at times struggle dribbling into double teams.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of those games at Duke last year, and that's something that's going to take time. It took Giannis time to develop that. You can't just expect that from Cooper Flagg right away. But yeah, Dallas, they're a team with no direction at the moment, and looks like they're headed for the lottery because I mean the West is tough, and the heart and soul of that franchise is gone. Like all the vibes are gone. All the good vibes that Dirk built and passed out to Luka is completely gone.
I didn't think about that. Yeah. I mean, it's tough, man. But
Mark Cuban's gone too. Well, he's not gone, but he's just
he's not the like.
He sold his majority stake of the franchise, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's a minority owner now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So he still shows up to the games, but he don't. He can't just pop and boom be like, oh, we're gonna put this guy in. We're gonna get this head coach. He don't have that authority anymore. He can make suggestions, and I think they should listen to Mark Cuban, but we'll see. That's what happens when.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've read up on, like, I don't know if these new owners will listen to Mark Cuban just because they're on one side of the political spectrum, and Mark Cuban's on the other side.
Yeah.
We don't gotta go really go into that pause, but we don't go too deep into that. So hey, hey man, I got nothing to do with Dallas, man. I just visit there frequently just to see the family. I gotta see my fam out there in Dallas. Shout out to Kurt Lee though.
Kurt Lee.
But shoot, speaking of NBA, man, Oh, go ahead, T.
And I was going to say we had some good league pass games. Sunday we had
Oh,
Lakers, Bucks, and then last
mm,
night was like an all-time league pass night. We had buzzer beaters, we had clutch moments, we had Wemby doing Wemby stuff.
hey, look, and it's no knock, but look, man, I still ain't missed my ESPN yet. I ain't gonna hold y'all, and I'm so glad that I didn't have it to watch that snooze fest of a Monday Night Football game last night because people, I was even looking on the internet, kind of waiting to see, oh, this is like a defensive juggernaut game. It just looked like it was just some bullshit.
Uh,
So last night,
honestly, I was watching Wizards Pistons on Peacock.
me
Like
too.
that was a
Hey,
good game.
since Monumental's not on YouTube TV either, that was literally like my first time watching the goddamn squad play, bro. So like
Right.
I had to take that opportunity, man. Yeah, they lost, but man, it was a good game. Yeah, I know I'm on the K Cunningham agenda, and it's crazy he took that so many shots, but you could kind of see the growth in K, especially in Jalen Duran. Um,
But
they kind of had a
you know,
sluggish start to the season, but they're starting to catch on. What's up, T?
you know what's crazy? Like some of these new age basketball fans don't understand that sometimes you have to empty the clip and just put
Yeah,
the shots up, whether it's going in or not. You have to empty the clip. We saw Shea do it in Game 7 of the Finals. He wasn't
yeah.
efficient, but you gotta do what you
But
gotta
that
do to win the game.
but that's the problem. Like it's so too much into this analytics and stuff, and it all started because it was supposed to be a knock against Kobe when LeBron fans were trying to make comparisons with like him and Jordan and Kobe and stuff. It was like but did he get the dub? Like, did the dub happen? So like, and not all shots are created equal. Like it wasn't like he was just chucking up some bullshit. He was taking normal shots that he's usually making, but sometimes the ball doesn't go in the rim like that. It happens, but he was still aggressive. He didn't shy away from the moment, and then it turned out good for him in the end. So it is what it is. But I did see some good from finally actually watching the game. I did see some good from some of the younger Wizards players. I just know that at least by the end of the season, the coach needs to go because he's really just there for development. He's not really good in the X and O's. The Wizards literally ran the same play 5 straight times, and they got that joint turnover 4 times. It's because they run in the same sets. It's too predictable. But I'm glad to see the improvement out of Alex Sarr. I'm glad Trey Johnson is starting, and I like what I'm seeing out of Keyshawn George. I'm just a little concerned about Bell Carrollton. And I do want to see more minutes for AJ Johnson because I think he's a sleeper. And I don't think we should try to waste that talent because I think AJ Johnson could be one of those guys if you give him enough playing time. But like you said, all-time league pass, we had the Miami Heat, surprisingly 7-4 and coming into the season. I know people
So
wasn't really taking too much of them, especially with Tyler Hero being hurt in the beginning of the season. But like you say, Team USA coach for 2028, Coach Spo, man, just drawing up these out of bound plays and keeping the team going no matter who's on the floor.
Yeah, shout out Wiggins and
somebody
Powell.
said something funny though. Somebody said something hilarious. He was like, "Yeah, you know, there's not a lot of ISO ball going on. The ball's moving, blah blah." I don't know if it was Jovic, but I don't know if that was a shot at Hero, Rozier, or both of them.
I mean, we know the type of player Tyler Hero is, and from watching him live, I think the ball still moves with him in the game because, you know, we know me and you saw the Miami Heat play a few times in person. T, they like to do a lot of high pick and roll, especially when Bam's in the offense, and then Tyler Hero really comes when he's dribbling the ball to the court. He either is tagging from that high pick and roll, or he's tagging from that wing. So. But I guess now when you don't have that many players, and I guess Andrew Wiggins is like the go-to guy right now, the offense is going to be different. But we just know Spo knows how to adapt to his team.
And Norman Powell's hooping too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they finessed the Clippers, man. Norman Powell should still be in the Clippers uniform, and that's another team that's looking kind of iffy right now. It's the Clippers, man. I mean, is Bradley Beal a team killer now? Is Bradley Beal a team killer now?
Bradley Beal, Pablo Torre.
The agenda Pablo has against the Clippers, they must not give him season tickets or something, man. I don't know what's going on with that, man.
Yeah, Clippers
I
definitely underachieving though. So I don't know. They're the oldest team in the league, so they gotta get together. Like they gotta figure it out. There's talking about there's pressure on Ty Lue to figure it out. Look, man, I'm gonna say this: if Ty Lue becomes a variable, Charles Lee can go. I mean, honestly, I'm at the point now where I'm back because I haven't seen much from him as a coach. His rotations are still sus. His offense isn't really innovative to me. Sure, we're our two best guys. LaMelo has an ankle thing going on, but it seemed like this is part of their plan to limit his injuries as much as possible. He worked out with the G League team earlier, so it seemed like to me that it's very clear that the Hornets were like, look, if LaMelo has any ankle problems, we're going to shut him down and play these young guys. It seemed like that's the plan, and that's fine if that's really what the plan is. But my thing is, at a certain point, especially when they're down East, you would like to see them try to make the playoffs, especially when the East is down. And I get it. LaMelo has an ankle problem, and they're being very, very cautious. And then, Brandon had another fluke injury, in my opinion, because his injury's been more just bad luck, in my opinion. I think Brandon Miller will be fine once he comes back. LaMelo, they're being very cautious, but at some point, it's like, okay, how much longer as a franchise can we be cautious of our number one player? We got draft picks, a lot of them coming up. We got, I think, like 3 in 27 or 28. We have the Dallas pick in 27. We could possibly get Orlando's pick this year. People have been chirping about, Trey LaMelo.
was gonna ask about that. How y'all feel about that?
It's gonna get dicey depending on how he comes back from this ankle injury and how their season plays out. I think we have enough young talent, especially with the way these rookies are playing. They're ahead of schedule with them. Nipple, in my opinion, right now, should would be the rookie of the year. VJ had a good start, but he's kind of tailed off. Flagg has decent numbers, but Khan's been consistent from game one to now, and he's had some good moments. Sion James has been outstanding pick in the second round. Kalkbrenner, starting at center. He's a good rotational piece at center, starter level center. Like I said, when Brandon comes back, I think he'll be fine. It might take him a little while to get back in rhythm, but we know what Brandon Miller's capable of. We've seen his rookie year, and then when he played last year, what he's capable of. He's a guy who can get you 35, 40 on any given night when he's hot. So we have pieces. I think what we need is a backup four. This is why you can't afford to miss in the draft. We drafted Salon to be that four, and he's been a bust. And not having Grant Williams hurts. He would have been the backup four. We should have took Masas Puzelis. That's who I wanted at that pick. A lot of people in Charlotte wanted him, and he's been balling out for Chicago. He's been very solid. So I think if we don't make the playoffs of the play-in and we get lucky in the lottery and get a top 5 pick, we need to go power forward or small forward, a 3-4 hybrid, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I'm not trying to be a homer, but Caleb Wilson would be perfect.
Yeah, about to say that's the guy.
Honestly, I think that's a perfect segue. Let's talk about him, man. Like you said, T, I was really watching that game because, look, after last year's lottery, I just gotta be in the top 5, top 6 at that point. I can't expect to be in the top 3 because you don't know when the Hohen's gonna come from. You just don't know. So what I saw from Caleb Wilson, I was really intrigued because I know BT has and our boy Katie has really been talking about him in the group chat. So I was really just waiting to see what he was going to do against a team like Kansas. And not only did he accept the challenge, he drove y'all to a pretty convincing win over the Kansas Jayhawks. I didn't know it was that long since y'all the last time UNC beat Kansas, but he really just looked like he was the guy on that court, even against potential number 1 pick Peterson. So, I mean, he just had the energy. He had that dog in him. He accepted the challenge. He looked athletic. And what really stood out to me was his jump shot ability. He was hitting fadeaways. He was face-up jump shots. So, yeah, I think Caleb Wilson, I think y'all really got a dog. I haven't been this intrigued of a UNC player since Kobe White, in my opinion, to be honest with y'all. So, no, I think y'all really got a good one over there right now.
Yeah, And like the crazy thing is, if you look at like draft rooms, like top 5 or top 10, like 7, 8 of them are literally like power forwards and big men. Like if you're
Mm-hmm.
looking for a wing player in the draft, you're a team that needs a wing player. This is the draft you're looking for. So I'm on draft him right now. So Darren Peterson, number 1 pick still. He's impressive. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, I could see a team like Dallas needing a guard. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just putting it out there. I don't know how Dallas got Cooper Flagg, but after last year's lottery, I don't put it past Adam Silver or
Mm-hmm.
anybody, right? And then like AJ Debonsa, 6'9", 7-foot wingspan. Cam Boozer, 6'9", 7-foot wingspan. They AJ and Cam play two different styles of basketball. They're elite prospects. Caleb Wilson, 6'9", with 6'11" wingspan. So I mean, we Cole Pete, 6'9". So I mean, if you're looking for a 3 or 4, or is this a wing player? This is definitely the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And this freshman class might be better than last year's. And last year's had a lot of hype as well. But this class is deep. There's a lot of talent in this class. They've showed up so far, and it's made college basketball something that we should pay attention to early. Because sometimes a lot of casuals, they watch football, they start watching
Mm-hmm.
the NBA at Christmas, and then they start watching college basketball really maybe late January, February. But we have this type of freshman class. People are going to be tuned in early. So
But yo, what's good with this man being that V Tech? This Greece Luka Dončić ass motherfucker, man. Like, what's going on,
that's another
college? like,
that's
like
another
when
one,
Katie,
bro.
when Katie, I was like you said, it's like how much did V Tech give this man? Because it just seems so random that a time like this is at Virginia Tech of all places.
I know Tech said my cousin went to Radford, which is like right down the street from Tech. It's like a private
Okay,
school down the
okay.
street from Virginia Tech, and my cousin went to Virginia Tech as well. So they both told me that Tech's going to really start trying to invest more into their athletic program, because there was a point where they deprioritize athletics for whatever reason. I don't know why. That's what draws people to your school, but you
Hmm.
know they kind of fell off in football, and their basketball team had a couple of decent teams, but they've been up and down. But they said that they're starting to really invest in their athletic department again. So I know Virginia Tech's going to try to make a run for James Franklin. Um,
In
whether
football.
he ends up there, I don't know, but they're definitely investing in the athletic department, and getting a guy like that just shows the type of investment that they've made.
Yeah. No, because I don't know is he even on in the draft room's radars yet? Because the way he played, he kind of looked like he might be a lottery pick himself. I don't know yet. Because I heard he was supposed to come earlier, but they said he was projected to be second round, so he stayed, and now he's at VTech to trying to raise his draft stock. That's what the rumor is about him.
I'll take a quick look at it real quick.
But yes, but speaking about these high potential draft picks, I know your boys got one a game against one of them coming up. Dave, your UConn man is going to be playing BYU this Saturday on Fox, by the way. So y'all should be able to watch the game. So don't worry. But
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
man, how you feel about that matchup, man? How you feel about that game?
Yeah, first off, I didn't realize they were playing in Boston. I see the agenda is visible. Uh, I didn't realize the game was in Boston. Uh, but it should be a good game. We're a little undermanned right now because like one of our McDonald's All American freshmen is out. I think for another 3 weeks. I believe
Mm,
Braylon Mullins,
okay, yeah,
one of our guards. But we have our other All American Eric Rebe that's coming off the bench. But it should be a good one. I expect AJ to ball out. I don't know like what type of answer we'll have for him. It's going, but with the thing about UConn and Dan Hurley teams is that we find a way to play defense collectively.
hmm
We find a way to like stay connected on defense and also move the ball on offense. and that's what I've seen so far. We're going to rely this year in general. We're going to rely a lot on veteran leadership, and that's that's I think one of the key ingredients to a good season, and also like a run potentially in the NCAA tournament. So
Yeah.
like with Alex Caravan coming back, and we got a couple upperclassmen transfers that came in that are starting for us. And Solo Ball is to me one of the best shooters in the country. And Terrace Reed, our big man, is solid as well. So I mean he'll probably be the one that has the duties to guard AJ on Friday. So it should be interesting to see. I like how UConn is scheduled like some their non-conference schedule. It shows us a lot of where we're at or where we're gonna be at. We play BYU.
Hold on. What y'all learned from that last game, Dave? Being honest, what you exactly which game.
I'll talk about coming up.
Okay, I was about to say, cause ain't no way you talk about what was that school? What was that school?
I mean, UMass Lowell. We beat them by
who the fuck?
and then we just beat Columbia yesterday by 27. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about BYU. I'm talking about we gotta go to Kansas. We gotta go.
Okay.
I'm not sure how good Texas is, but we gotta play them.
Texas, it's a tough school.
We play Arizona. We play Arizona next week, right after BYU.
And they just had a good win against the Florida Gators. I know that boy Noah P showed out. Another freshman, another possible lottery pick in this upcoming draft.
He's top 5.
Okay.
I say he's gonna be in that first round. But I mean, we play Illinois too. We play Florida. We play Florida as well. So yeah, we just had some tune-ups. That's all. Just a little tune-ups.
That's what the exhibitions were for, Dave. That's what the exhibitions were for, Dave.
Nah, man, you can't go wrong with an extra oil change, man. Hey, plus, we paying them to play us, man.
Must. Oh yeah, y'all helping out the programs over there. That's what you see. That's what you calling it, Dave.
Yeah, man. It's it's the Husky giveaway. We just we.
Hey, chill out, Mo. The Husky giveaway is nasty.
We just had to get a little tune-up right before we play the real competition. We'll see where we at, man. We'll see where we at, man.
For those, the reason I brought it up because we, me and my boy Dave, we was over at my homie Javon's crib. We was catching up on some college soups and everything. And your boy Dave found himself, on his phone watching some UConn basketball. I'm like, why are you even watching this shit, bro? You're not learning a damn thing from this, bro. They up like 50 before the first half was over.
I think it's like we didn't beat New Hampshire the way I wanted us to. We should have smacked New Hampshire by 40. I think we only beat them by like 20 something. So I wanted to see how we respond. And so we were up 40 against UMass Lowell, and Dan Hurley was still coaching them hard. And I just wanted to see how the transfers do. I wanted to see how Rebe was doing.
See, this is what happens. This is what happens when gambling enters the sport. Just because they ain't meet the spread, niggas get worried now. Ass whooping is an ass whooping, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it should be a good matchup on Friday. I'm looking forward to it.
But speaking of teams, going back to UT, your boy Seth Trimble, he just had surgery. How's that going to impact the team? How's that going to affect the team? And what are you hearing for like how long he's going to be out for? 'Cause I know y'all have some key games coming up too.
I think they said. I think he posted something that said it'll be a couple weeks now. Is it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? But it's not a season-ending injury, but it'll give some time to get some of these younger guys a little bit more development. But my concern is that he's our most athletic guard. And one thing I saw versus Kansas, especially in the first half, our guards just look unathletic at times in the first half versus Kansas. I'm not sure. I know we have some tough games coming up soon. I'm going to try to pull up their schedule really quick. But yeah, at times we just looked a little bit slow in that first half. Second half, we looked better. But Seth Trimble is our most athletic guard, and he's our best defender on the perimeter, so that's gonna hurt a little bit. But fortunately, the next couple weeks we have a soft schedule. We have Central,
Okay.
Navy, St. Bonaventure, and then Thanksgiving Day we play Michigan State, and
Okay.
then the following Tuesday after that we play Kentucky in the ACC SEC Challenge. We have Georgetown,
Mm.
have Ohio State on the schedule as well. So I mean, Sherwood should be back according to his timeline. He should be back possibly for that Michigan State game. So we might not be in too much trouble. So it could
Um.
help some of our other guards develop and get acclimated quickly, especially some of the freshman guards that we have, and then the Luka
Yeah.
guy we got from internationally that just got cleared really right before the first game. So I don't think it's going to be too detrimental, but it definitely is going to leave a void on the defensive end of the floor and definitely in the athletics department. But I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I didn't know y'all played. I'm definitely going to be tuning in to the Georgetown game and the Michigan State game. One, because for people that don't know, Michigan State just has a freshman named Cam Ward. No relation to the Cam Ward that went to Miami. That's the quarterback at Tennessee. But he's from the area. He's from PG County. He actually holds the record for most points in Maryland public school history. He played at Largo High School, and he won the state championship last year. And in a big game against Arkansas, he posted 18 and 10 off the bench. So Michigan State, they look like they play a physical brand of basketball. And Georgetown, big game in the era. Georgetown playing Maryland this past Friday. Georgetown finally got their lick back against Maryland after two heartbreaking losses against the Terps in their previous two matchups. Georgetown looks like they started to make a little turn. They bringing back that physical brand of basketball that we used to knowing them from the John Thompson days. There was actually a little storyline because the star player for Georgetown, he wanted to go to Maryland, but for some reason they just decided not to bring him, so he had to show out at College Park. I'm not mad at you. You gotta get yours how you get yours, but between that and Georgetown's recruiting better. They got a 4-star or a 5-star coming in for next season, who they recruited for right now, because we know how everything gets dicey before they sign that dotted line these days. But for right now, they got a big recruit that just committed to them. So those two games, I definitely want to see how y'all fare, because what we saw, especially when we in the Final Four, like teams like Houston, we saw a little bit out of Florida. They played that physical brand of basketball. UConn does as well, that physical brand of basketball, and that full court press. So that's really going to impact a lot of teams when we get closer to tournament time, and especially during the conference games time. So definitely going to be really intrigued watching those two games and those two matchups.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think, with Georgetown, I think I saw even last year, like with Thomas Sorber and those guys on the squad last year, that, okay, like Ed Cooley's building something.
Honestly, if it was for injuries, I think they was going to make the tournament, because they started
I
out
thought
well.
so too. I thought so too at one
They
point.
started out well, but then Thomas Sober went out with injury, and then I think like a couple other pieces went down. So it's like at that point, it was just like they just didn't have enough talent on the floor. But they still had the same intensity. But to what you say, Ed Cooley has done a good job so far.
Yeah, I can see the progress from when he started to now, and like what he's building. So like
Hmm.
the next step is to be able to have success in the conference and get to the tournament. So I mean it makes the Big East bet a lot better when teams like Georgetown are good, because you got
Yeah.
because like us Georgetown, St. John's. We can all agree it's fuck Villanova. I never liked Villanova.
Oh, you already know I got big beef with Villanova, especially right now. Especially right now, I got big beef with Villanova. So
very understandable beef. Yeah, very understandable beef.
so
And I do hope that when Georgetown visits Providence this year, that y'all whoop their ass. Because I like they be real disrespectful to Ed Cooley, bro. They be real disrespectful to him, bro. So I hope
don't worry.
y'all win that.
We're gonna get the job done, man. We definitely gonna get the job done. But shoot, man, it was definitely a good opening week for college hoops, man. I'm kind of glad that these teams and programs are scheduling each other more often, so we get a lot of good matchups in the beginning of the season rather than having to wait until conference play or like the Maui Invitational to kind of see these good teams play against each other. So looking forward to the rest of these non-conference games as we head towards conference play later on into the year. But let's see. Shoot, I guess we could go into the NFL, man. Um, I mean, the NFL this week seems like it is what happened was supposed to happen, except for a few games. But I don't know. I can't call them in. The NFL just seems topsy turvy this year. I'm sorry. I hate to admit it, but I'm really just not that interested because my team is just so riddled with injuries right now. It's just hard for me to follow up with, man. Like I'm being honest. Like my NFC East take is down the dumps, man. Like like I thought we was going to get at least 3-4 teams in. We only going to have one team with a winning record coming out of this damn division, man. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Now, how you feeling right now, is Dre? Is probably how I felt for like the last 7 years. Like, because the team is bad. The team is bad. I just do not like. I just don't. I just by lack of my. I just have a lower interest in the NFL, man. And I don't know.
I mean,
oh, go ahead.
I do keep up because I mean I know y'all probably or don't want to probably talk about, but I do want to bring in this question because I put it in the chat. Like it's time for Jonathan Taylor to be entered in these MVP discussion.
Yeah, for sure.
I know they trying to give it to the quarterback. I look at them. They got Drake Mick up there. He's having a good season. They got Stafford up there. He's having a good season. But Jonathan Taylor, and it was on early in the morning in Berlin on prime time for the people that got NFL Network. He carried that team to that dub against the Atlanta Falcons. They try to give that game away to them, but Jonathan Taylor's like, hell no, we're not losing to the Falcons, bro. Like another game with 3 touchdowns, over 200 yards rushing, 286 yards, all-purpose yards. Like, what does Jonathan Taylor have to do to get the recognition that he deserves? I just don't know what he got to do, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with that, especially as the number one seed in the AFC, and I guess tied for the best record in the NFL. Or I think right now probably does have the best record in the NFL. Maybe
I think so.
tied with it because
with the Patriots.
the Eagles had their bye week, and I don't know if the Colts had their bye week. But yeah, no, they all have 2 losses. But no, I think the front runners for MVP, Jonathan Taylor. I think Drake May is up there. At one point, Baker Mayfield was in that conversation. I don't know if I put
that
Matthew Stafford.
tally up
For sure. Yeah.
Baker Mayfield agenda tally off like I thought it was. So we good.
Yeah. So I think it's like Taylor and May are the two front runners right now. But yeah, no, I think his name should be discussed a lot more. And people this is the thing about Jonathan Taylor, man. Like this is not like just some like breakout story for Jonathan Taylor. He had the rushing title back in 2021. Like he's been one of the best running backs in the league, but because of injury or because like the Colts offensive line wasn't good, or just
poor QB play,
or just the Colts franchise or whatever, he just hasn't been able to produce the same way. But he's still at least been a decent running back. But also he's had injuries himself. So this is a reemergence of Jonathan Taylor, and just kind of reminding guys like, hey, like I'm still like one of the best running backs in the NFL.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's Jonathan Taylor. It should be Jonathan Taylor's to lose. But like you said, for some reason the Colts just don't get the buzz, I guess, and people are still asleep on him, man. And I get it because honestly, Colts they're 8-2, top of the AFC. But if it came down to it, are we really going to pick the Colts over a team like Buffalo or Kansas City if they met in the playoffs? Because I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. That's what we talked about, last time as far as like what
they still got
the Colts, it doesn't make that big of a difference.
And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Watching that game, I'm gonna give him time because he just got there. But
That boy
Drake
was
London,
he
Drake
cooked,
London put
he cooked them.
Drake London beat the mess out that man.
He cooked
Like
them.
it's
He cooked them. But the only reason I wouldn't put the Colts I don't wouldn't pick them to go to the Super Bowl is because the other teams that they might face in the playoffs that will have that pedigree, that ability, to that I've been here before. I can win these type of games, and the Colts don't really have that.
yeah. The Colts do not want to see Kansas City in the divisional round. I
You
put it
don't,
like
and you
that.
don't, and you see the way Baltimore's playing now, and Baltimore's only
Yeah,
one game behind the Steelers in AFC North.
which is crazy. Which is
Yeah,
crazy to think
so
about.
look, if Baltimore gets in the playoffs, nah, you don't want to see them in the divisional round if you're the
Yeah,
Colts.
because Lamar could beat anybody except for Patrick Mahomes when it comes to the playoffs for right now at least. So and maybe if they play against the Buffalo
Yeah,
Bills, that's another story. But it's teams that you probably didn't think you was going to face because of how their regular season is going, because of injuries or whatever the reason may be. But you might find yourself with the most difficult matchup out of all the teams in the division around because of how everything how everything stands because of the regular season. So it's going to be interesting, but they do actually play Kansas City in a couple of weeks, I think, too. So that's going to be an interesting matchup for
hmm
sure. But I mean, and then Buffalo, they had a bad loss against Miami. Josh Allen had probably the worst game I seen him play. Like that man was sloppy with the pots, dog. Like
hmm
interception, fumbles, he did it all.
yeah. Shout out to A-Chain though. I appreciate you doing that for the fantasy. I appreciate I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Help me get the dub.
Don't worry, Dave. He gonna help you again next week. I can promise you that. I can promise you that.
Yep.
But yeah, man, NFL, it's getting to that type of year where, injuries are piling up. You kind of see the separation with teams. You can kind of see like their philosophies and the teams starting to separate from each other are starting to get back into it because the injuries, their players are coming back. But Eagles, I'm kind of concerned about them. I mean, not as a person that really cares how they do, because, I don't care if I do care if they win. I don't want them to win, but Lane Johnson is always getting hurt now, and he's very important to that offensive line. And the Eagles' offense just is not consistent at all, like it was last year. Like, what's going on in Philly? Is it because of new offensive coordinator and everything? I guess you could say that, but it just seems really off this year.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
whether they want to admit it or not, like the Eagles have a lot of distractions. They've been able to handle it somewhat well,
Hmm.
but like the whole AJ Brown, like having meeting, like the you know whatever like he's talking about with Jalen Hurts and Saquon, or like whether he's frustrated on offense or not, or not getting the ball as much,
Yeah.
and also the injuries because. You mentioned Lane Johnson. Landon Dickerson has also had some injuries too.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I think Saquon's also dealing with a hamstring.
He
Uh,
is.
yeah,
He is. You
so
could tell.
yeah, I mean, like the offense has just not been consistent. It looks a lot like what it was the first month of last year's season, where it was like, okay, like they would still win, but the offense would not look good. Like they started the season, I think 2-2, I think, and they're just offense didn't like look that good. Um, and then they eventually like caught fire. So I don't know if that's happened, but they've been able to respond well like the next game after like having all this like kind of
Hmm.
hoopla about themselves in the media. Um, so it'll be interesting to see how they face against the Lions, especially the
Yeah,
Lions
that's a big thing.
they've made some adjustments. Dan Campbell took over the offensive play calling. They you know
Hmm.
they've been able to Jameson Williams has been able to get the ball more.
Hmm.
Gibbs Gibbs has been balling. Goff has not been turning the ball over. Like, it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think Green Bay's in trouble because I know we was doing like our before the season prediction. We was kind of high on Green Bay because of the Michael Parsons trade and everything, but Green Bay is only going to go as far as how consistent Jordan Love can be. Jordan Love has that good game against the Steelers, and then he has like these 2 games afterwards. It's just like, okay, we waiting for you to have that same kind of game again. Like it comes and goes. It comes and goes, and that's what's hurting Green Bay Packers, in my opinion, right now, because the defense is still playing really good, in my opinion. Michael Parsons might not be getting like this crazy sacks like we thought he was going to get, but he is impacting that defense. Like he's helping other players get sacks. He's helping store pressure so the QB can make some mistakes. But on the offensive side, I know they're dealing with injuries, but Jordan Love in particular just hasn't played consistent enough for people to keep hyping him as this like next QB that people keep telling me he's supposed to be.
Yeah, and his safety net is gone for the season, Tucker Kraft. And Romeo Dobbs is also he just got hurt on Monday. And I don't know what's happened to like the other weapons like Christian Watson and Jalen Reed, I think is his name. I don't know what's happened to those other guys.
So what you telling me, Dave? I need to go look in the wire to give me a new QB, huh?
Yeah, I have him on the bench actually. Yeah, I have on the bench. Yeah, yeah. I
All
mean,
right, let me see.
if there's another QB that
Nah,
like right now, yeah.
I'm a
I,
matter of fact, as soon as we get off there, I'm gonna put my bid in for like CJ Stroud because he's still down. He's still in the wire, man. Somebody dumbass got rid of him, man. I'm gonna try to put my bid in for him because Jay Daniels, he pretty much done for the season for me. So
Mhm.
yeah, I need a new QB. So
I mean, like I got
Jordan
Aaron
Love,
Rodgers starting over.
we saw the Panthers game. If you can get the Packers offense off schedule early or force a turnover or
mhm.
just frustrate Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love early, they are going to take some chances, and Jordan Love's going to put the ball up there for the defense to make some plays. So
Yeah,
um, he's very, like you said, he can be very up and down. If you can get him frustrated early, he can definitely, throw some interceptions or throw some balls that are just questionable. But Jordan Love, as simple as it sounds, but it's true if you watch how Green Bay plays. If he gets going early, gets a rhythm early, then he can be top 5 quarterback in the NFL. But if you can frustrate him early, he can be somewhere between the middle or bottom of the NFL. Just really, you don't know what you're going to get from him each weekend. We've seen that offense get frustrated the last few weeks after the Steelers game. It seemed like they kind of hit a wall. So we're at the point of the season where teams are kind of we're like halfway through the season, a little over
yeah.
halfway, hitting the wall a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how the rest of this month and December plays out. But yeah, like speaking of, man, quarterback play, what a atrocity in Charlotte on Sunday, bro. Like, I don't know if it's Dave Canales. I don't know if it's Bryce Young. In my opinion, it's both of them. But this shit is going to cost us a wild card spot because our defense has made strides this year. We have a running game. We have a good receiver in T-Mac. I still think we don't use Jimmy Horn properly. We need to use Jalen Coker properly. I don't know what's up with Xavier Leggett. I don't know if it's just not happening or we're not using him properly. But this offense, well, not the offense, this passing game sucks. Bryce
Yeah,
Young is averaging like 167 yards passing a game. That is awful in any era of football, but especially in this modern era of football.
yeah.
167 yards a game. He's only had one game this year where he threw over 200 yards passing. One.
That's and the problem is because if there was a way he was getting like 195 passing but 70 yards rushing, leading the wins, that would be acceptable. But he's not using his legs like that to get like first downs and stuff like that. So like you said, T, it's like your passing attack is just anemic as hell right now. It's like it's undesirable right now.
And even more telling is that he only had like 3 or 4. I forgot what it was. It was somewhere between 3 and 5 attempts up 10 yards more pass down the field. You can't win the NFL like that.
No.
You think
Dang,
teams
man.
are going to let Rico Dowdle just run all over us after what they've seen the last
They're
7
gonna
weeks?
stack the
Absolutely not.
box. No, yeah, they're
I
gonna stack the
I,
box.
I said this when we played here outside. When the team knows you don't have a passing attack, when you know they don't have to worry about a particular wide receiver or a passing, they're gonna stack that box, and then it's gonna be a wrap. They're gonna press up on the wide receivers because they go, oh, they're not going nowhere, and we just gonna focus on this run game. And like, I'm sorry, I'm not even trying to be mean, but that was from a 4-point standpoint. That's just one of the worst loss of the season because
It was a terrible loss. It was a
it's like
terrible loss.
the Saints. Whatever they trying to say, they're not really interested in winning right now. And again, it's like a rivalry game, so they're gonna talk smack because they beat y'all and like piss y'all off for an entire week and everything. But the Saints are not trying to win. Al Kamara hasn't done shit this whole season. Like he keeps saying he wants to stay. He needs to be up out of there if he wants to play um, you know, admirable football, meaningful football and everything. So and Chris Olave is like really the only wide receiver because they just traded the other dude away. So Chris Olave is really like the only threat wide receiver that they have. And I'm gonna say what it is. Did Horn get beat a lot that game? Yes, but one of them was a mean push, a mean offensive PI. But I'm gonna just let it go because the rest hasn't been kind to us. Have been kind of my team either. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But like you said, Tampa Bay lost. We're in the middle of the wild card. We had a chance with the 49ers losing to really make it interesting. We blew it.
Yeah.
And, when you got teams like San Francisco and right now the Rams are in the wild card,
Green
Detroit's
Bay's
in
at
the wild
7.
card.
Green Bay's the 7th seed now.
Yeah, like the NFC wild card is stacked, man. So we have to beat teams we're supposed to beat. We still got to play the 49ers. We still got to play the Rams. We still got to play Seattle. And we play Tampa twice.
And Seattle's looking like a different beast right now. I mean, they played two bad teams, but you can tell they're a respectable football team this year. I say that they're definitely good, respectable. JSN's having a phenomenal year at wide receiver. He's cooking.
And then, to add insult to injury, Sam Darnold's done in Minnesota last year, now in Seattle, and we can't even throw for 200 yards passing. It just like what is going on with this passing game? You don't, when somebody's drafted number one, he's supposed to be a game changer, or at least at best average at best, right? Or somewhere near like top 10. Like you could be like 15, but on any given day, you have top 10 potential. Like we've seen that with CJ Stroud, even though he's had his struggles, but a lot of his struggles are due to that horrific offensive line. We've seen that from Stroud. Like he can be a game changer at times. We saw it in his rookie year. We saw it at times last year as well. I haven't seen game changer from Bryson. I see a guy that has handcuffs from his head coach. Why I don't know. I mean, I could find out. I could text Vashton and find out what's really going on with that situation. And honestly, I might hit her up and get some intel, see what the hell is really going on with this passing game because it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable, bro. Like you're in year 3.
Okay. T, can I ask you a question? If you needed Bryce Young to throw a Hail Mary from the 50-yard line, can he do it?
Man, I'll put it like this: it might take everything in him to get it to the end zone.
Okay.
And it's not like I'm not saying he has a weak arm. He obviously has an NFL arm. To go number one, you have to have some arm talent. But at the same time, there's not a lot of pop off the ball. And because of his stature, because of his height, I've seen it firsthand. I was in Jacksonville. I had pretty good seats when the Panthers are on into the end zone. Bryce Young literally at times is on his tippy toes or jumping to pass the ball. You can't get any zip on the ball. When you're really throwing on your tiptoes, or sometimes you even have to jump to pass. Like on some of these little short passes, he's literally jumping to throw the pass. He's on his tiptoes. You can't get any velocity on the ball. He missing Leggett. There's one opportunity for a big play down the field, and I don't know if Leggett dropped it or it was slightly off or both. But that was just a missed opportunity. And it was a touchdown that was off the board. And the interception he threw was awful. Like he got bailed out early in the game because they called some Fugazi roughing the passer penalty, which it wasn't, in my opinion. I'm just being unbiased. That wasn't roughing the passer. But we got a break, and we scored a touchdown off of it. He threw a pick on that play. The interception that got recorded that he threw was awful. The linebacker came in, showed blitz, and just dropped out in the flat and coverage. He threw it right to him.
Yeah.
Like, the passing concepts and the route concepts aren't good either. There's not a lot of route concepts down the field either. It's either T-Mac down the sideline, occasionally we'll throw a T-Mac down the sideline, and it's a bunch of little out routes, a little rub route cross routes across the middle. Not even deep crosses, but short crosses across the middle, or little screen passes. Like, the route concepts are horrible too. So I'm putting the blame on both Bryce and the coach, and they need to figure it out because, like I said, we go against the Rams, against that D line. You think they're gonna let Rico? You think Jared versus Fisk and them boys gonna let Rico run over them? Hell no.
Nah,
Honestly, I can't even think. I'm concerned for y'all even against the upcoming game against the Falcons because
yes, their run defense is pretty. I know Taylor did what he does, but throughout the season, their run defense has actually not been that bad. Their defense, has been okay throughout the year. They're not terrible. Michael Penix is really more of a question mark.
Don't get me. And I don't have to say anything because I said what I had to say, and I had to go into the booth and drop a 2-piece real quick. So that's up and coming. But I'm gonna say when we have a real conversation about Michael Penix, because I see what he does this weekend before I say what I gotta say. I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm gonna definitely give him a chance.
For some reason, I don't know why, we haven't swept Atlanta in a long time. We blew them out in Charlotte, but I guarantee you, I know this team. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost on Sunday because we just seem to always split versus these niggas. I don't know why, but Sunday's a must win. But I don't know what team is going to show up on Sunday. For some reason, we always split versus the Falcons. I don't understand why, but it seems like we always split, and I wouldn't be surprised if we end up having to split versus them again.
And you hit the nail on the head, man. Like, I don't know what team will ever show up every week. Like, against even Green Bay, I didn't know what team was going to show up. Like, but thankfully a good team showed up. But I thought maybe a good team would show up this past Sunday, but that wasn't the case. An unprepared team showed up. So, yeah, like, it's just unpredictable every week. I don't know like what happens during the week, like, and how they prepare. But you just have no idea what type.
I think it's the expectations because what's the streak now when y'all are favored to win and y'all lost a game? What's the streak at now?
Games we're 0-11,
and that's because y'all came in like we supposed to beat, and y'all was supposed to beat the Saints. Forget by how many points. The margin, whatever, you're supposed to win that game regardless. Even if it was by 3-2, 1 point, wherever, you got to win that game because those are teams you're supposed to beat. Now, how you beat them, you could take that into the film room and go over during the week and get prepared for Atlanta. But you got to win those games. So, our colleague BT, he was like, that's the next step for y'all. It's like y'all got to beat teams y'all know y'all supposed to beat. That's how the NFL works. It's not like the NBA where you can make up if you're on a 3-game losing streak, you can make it up at some point. No, every week matters in the NFL, especially when you're playing somebody in your own division, especially in the conference too. So that's like two losses in one because that's a conference win and in a division win gone in a stacked NFC conference for this playoffs.
We missed out on being a half game behind the Bucks and at least one game behind.
The Bucks are dealing with injuries right now, so they can get got at any moment. So they got a tough schedule.
Yep, Buffalo on Sunday. And not only that, back to your point, you had players saying, "Oh, we didn't prepare as well this week, and we maybe could have prepared better this week." Blah blah blah. Where's the head coach?
And why do you even let that happen? Why does that even happen?
This is why I said what I said earlier this season about Canales. He's a good man, but I don't give a fuck if you're a good man.
Shout out to Ed Joe, man.
I don't give a fuck if you're a good man. They're saying the same thing about Mike Norvell. He's a good man. Mike Norvell sucks as a fucking football coach.
Yeah, here we go.
I'm a coaching team in 15 years. We can't beat these niggas, man. We want to save Dabo's job, which might be a good thing because Dabo's washed anyway. But still, we can't beat the worst coaching team in 15 years. I'm tired of the always a good man. No, are you a good coach? Can you lead? Can you rein people in? Can you call people out on their bullshit?
At, you know
I'm
my
tired of this shit,
philosophy.
bro.
And you know my philosophy. Some of the best teams in Florida and all the Florida school history has some real questionable characters on that team, but they was real good on that football field.
Man, they should call Florida State Free Shoes University, bro. Probably down there with the jam. They was winning football games.
Hey, they call my team criminals every 10 years. So hey, I'm Bobby with the vibes though. Let's
Yeah,
still
man. But it's like,
and we got still monitors in a decade, to still in laptops another decade, to still in tablets in this new decade. I'm for all that shit. Let's do it, dog. Put my man on the field though.
yeah, man. But as the head coach, bro, if you can't command respect, this is the type of shit that happens. We don't have the respect of the locker room, man. Like, you gotta say enough is enough. You gotta stop practice, make people run some sprints or do something to rein them back in, man. You can't admit after a game that you were supposed to win against a 1-8 football team where you're fighting for a division and a wild card spot. We didn't prepare as well as we could have. And we
That's
got
coaching.
players saying this out loud.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's immaturity, man. This is an immature football team. This team doesn't know how to handle success.
Lack
Yeah.
of leadership.
So,
Lack of leadership, man. Yeah.
yeah, man. Like, that's all it is, man. They're immature. This is part of the growing pains, but at the same time, like, you don't get a lot of opportunities in the NFL come and go from year to
Yeah.
year. It's a year-to-year league. We talk about
All
so
I
we
mean,
get
you can be
opportunities, you have to capitalize.
exactly.
There's so many moving parts. You got 11 players are on the field in the NFL. You got 53 men on the roster. There's so many moving parts that injuries can happen. Anything can happen, and it can derail your season.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be funny, but the Commanders is a prime example of that from
Oh
last
no,
year.
we're the definitely prime example. We going from first to worst, as far as I'm concerned. And we could talk again. I'll talk all about this in my upcoming rant corner. It's execution, but mostly it's because of the injuries. I already said, coming into this season that I didn't say we was going to the Super Bowl. Can y'all count me on saying that? Did I say we was going to go to the Super Bowl this year? I at least saw a playoff team. But when I say playoff team, it's because we needed everybody to be healthy again this season, and we needed execution like we did in our winning streak last year. Both haven't happened, and it could be vice versa because of the execution versus the injuries. But like you said, T, it's just a year by year league. We seen teams that went to the Super Bowl not make the playoffs in the following year. We seen teams that were consistently going to the playoffs one year. That's it. So
Yeah.
it's all about capitalizing on the opportunity more than any, especially in the NFL, especially when it comes to football. Like, you got to capitalize on these opportunities.
Yeah, man. And Sunday was, as our old coach Ron Reed used to say, a missed opportunity. And honestly, it's going to cost us the wild card and the division. Just watch. We'll be one game out of the division with a wild card, and that's going to be the game that's going to send us
We
packing
wish
in
it won.
January.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows you, man. The team isn't ready to take that next step, man. Like we've already said, So, I mean, losing to the Saints is like getting a Section 8 chick pregnant, man. You just like what the hell happened? Did I drink too much Hennessy? Did I know what a condom was? Like, what was I thinking? What was I thinking? That's just what it feels like. I'm just saying.
All right, man. Well, before we go to the next topic, before we leave, we do got some major games. I think the Chiefs play the Broncos this week. That's a major game, not only for the conference but for the division.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Detroit versus Eagles, another game that's going to impact the conference. And those
Bucks and the
quick
Bills.
picks. Oh yeah, we got Bucks and the Bills too. So out of those three games, who y'all got win? Quick picks. Who y'all got winning those matchups?
I'm going with Kansas City, Detroit. Man, Bills and Bucks is really a toss-up. Both teams are really kind of hit a wall a little bit. The Buffalo, that was an inexcusable loss, but I think the game's in Buffalo, so I'll take the Bills.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bills too. I'm gonna take the Lions, and I'm gonna pick the Broncos. There's another game as well, Seahawks and Rams. I got the Rams
Oh,
in that one
yeah.
though. Yeah, I got the Rams.
Rams, Seattle. What's that joint gonna be at?
In LA. In LA.
In LA? And that really don't matter. LA's dealing with some injuries at the wide receiver position. They might be able to play, but they kind of nicked up a little bit. I'm gonna go with Seattle with the upset. I'm gonna go with Detroit. I'm gonna go Tampa Bay, and then I'm gonna go with the Broncos because I think the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be like a 6 or 7 seed team going into this year playoffs. I don't think they're going to win the division this year the way they look at. I think they got too early losses, like one to Jacksonville, and I think that's what's going to hurt them from winning the division. Because I think Broncos are going to start to separate themselves because they got an easier schedule than the Chiefs.
That's a bet.
But with that, staying with football, once again, we have a new college football playoffs ranking. The top 4 have stayed the same, but if you see right now, BYU, after they lost to Texas Tech, has fallen out of the playoffs. Teams like Notre Dame has moved up. We got South Florida as that team outside of Power 5 coming in that 12th spot. Texas is at number 10 with a big game this weekend against University of Georgia. This seems like a win or go home game for Texas. They definitely need a big win with that team. And oh shoot, they got my Miami boys at number 11. Look at us.
Yeah, they got Miami in there, which I like. It's one of my points. But first off, I just like how when these rankings come out, how like certain teams get spooked. I'm always interested in who gets spooked by these rankings. Like we saw what we saw this past weekend. Indiana tricked off a lead, but then had a game-winning drive against Penn State, and by the way, Fernando Mendoza, that was a Heisman moment type of drive, and Omar Cooper with the amazing catch, the amazing game-winning touchdown catch. Well, I'm always interested to see like teams get spooked. Oregon almost lost at Iowa. If dude hadn't had his foot out on the 2-point conversion, Oregon would have been going to tie the game instead of winning the game. So that was interesting. But yeah, I mean, so when I look at these rankings, I'm a little surprised to see South Florida there because in my opinion, just based on the AP poll, I was thinking James Madison, but also then again, who wants to see James Madison versus Georgia? That's also what I was thinking. And with Miami at the 11th seed, you're going with the highest ranked, the highest ranked team. So they're like, so I guess like Dre, what I want to hear from you about this is that, with Miami in this position, if you win out, that is good for you because now that you're at this 11th spot, all you can do is move up if you keep winning. But you're in 6th place in the ACC, and if Georgia Tech handles business, if Virginia wins out, or if Louisville wins out, or if Pittsburgh, I don't know if you guys play Pittsburgh or not.
Yeah, we play Pitt. That's our last regular season game.
Okay, you play Pitt. So, but if Georgia Tech and Virginia do their job, like they're going to be in the ACC championship. So, what are your are we going to see like an ACC champion get left out if Miami's not able to play an ACC champion?
No, the ACC champion is automatically in.
So that bracket's a little bit deceiving because Miami's actually ranked 15.
Yeah.
So I think they just put them in 11 because they're the highest ranked ACC team. But like you said, to add context, they're 6th in the ACC. So and Georgia Tech right now is 16. So Yeah, like just to add some context, yeah,
I
South
put it
Florida
like
being 24 is interesting over James Madison, but like you said, Dave, this is also a beauty pageant as well. Nobody wants to see James Madison get absolutely dog walked by Georgia.
Yeah, and I do want
Um,
to add that the AC like it's the top five. It's the five
Not
highest
conference
ranked
champs.
conference champion. So the ACC champion is not guaranteed. It's the five
hmm
highest because if South
hmm
Florida ends up higher than whoever the ACC champion is, then South Florida is gonna get in. If South Florida and James Madison, because you are like the SEC champion, the Big 12 champion, and the Big 10 champion are most likely already gonna be in the top five or the top 10.
hmm
So the other two, if South Florida keeps winning, if James Madison keeps winning, if they have higher rankings than the ACC champion, then those two are gonna get in.
But the ACC champ automatically gets in the playoff.
Yeah.
No. It's the
ACC is
five.
automatic.
It's the four conference champs. The Big 12 champ, the ACC champ, the SEC Big 10 champ automatically gets a spot.
Oh, really?
Then you
So
and
then the
then
highest
it's the
ranked group of five team
yeah.
in automatically gets a spot. Now James Madison's ranked ahead of some other teams that aren't conference champions, and they get it. But those conference champions are. That's why Clemson was able to get into the playoff.
hmm
Clemson wasn't ranked ahead of a lot of those teams that made the playoff. They won the ACC championship game.
So they automatically get a bid in. They just had to figure out where they was going to slot them at
But
in the
a
playoff
bid,
bracket,
a conference champion doesn't get you a automatic top four or top five seed
like it did last year.
this year. So you could
So
be an AC champ, but you're not guaranteed a top four seed in a
hmm
bye week.
yeah,
No, because
but
I was just saying that because like I was watching the ranking show and they said it's possible that the ACC champion might not make it because it's like you're not like it's not guaranteed that maybe that was like last year's rule, but this year it's not guaranteed that all the Power Four conferences will make it.
Oh, really? I'm gonna have to look into that.
yeah, we got to look into that. But to answer your question, as a Miami fan, you pretty me. They put themselves in a position where they need a lot to happen outside their realm for them to make the playoffs. In my opinion, like T alluded to, we're sixth in the ACC because we have two losses to Louisville and SMU, and then the teams over us have either are undefeated or one loss. Now, do some of them play each other? Yes. Like I know Duke, one like UVA or somebody they play Duke, SMU play somebody. So there's opportunity for like other two lost teams, and some might start reeling and get three losses. But at the same time, what's more important to Miami is they have to win now and make sure Pittsburgh is still a top 25 team and win against them on the road convincingly till they could keep bolstering their rankings in the AP poll up because as you saw in the playoff ranking, they beat two teams in that playoff ranking right there in Notre Dame and South Florida that they put in the playoff rankings. Now I don't know what South Florida has to do to stay in those playoff rankings, but Miami already has as of right now, based on those rankings, they have two wins against a playoff ranked team at the moment. So, but for them to complete the playoff race, because we know how it gets dicey when it gets later on in the season, and that 11 and 12 spot gets interchangeable because of conference championships, teams losing that's not supposed to be losing because they even pushed out Alabama because they just couldn't find a way to have a 3-loss team in the college football playoffs last year. So first order of business, Miami has to take care of these last 3 games that they got. I think we got VTech, Pittsburgh, and NC State.
Yeah,
We got NC State, Pittsburgh, and VTech. You have to handle those 3 games. And to help your cause, you might want to handle all 3 of those teams convincingly.
I think you
But
have to. Yeah, you have to.
So, and then 2, if you want to make the ACC championship game, you need UVA, you need Georgia Tech, you need Louisville to start bottoming out right now. Because 2 and SMU, because 2 of those teams have wins against you, so they have tiebreakers. And then UVA and Georgia Tech only has 1 loss in the ACC. So you need a lot of help on that side.
So So I'm reading because I was reading something on ESPN. So the AFC champ is going to get into the playoff.
Oh, really? Not good.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what Heather Dennis. That I'm reading something right now that Heather Dennis wrote because they're talking about what team would be in each from each conference. So Big 12 obviously Texas Tech. ACC
Yeah.
right now they have Georgia Tech because they're ranked right behind Miami. But yeah, ACC is a one big league.
Yeah.
And like T said, I guess they put Miami in there because just for rating purposes, it's the sexier pick, but that spot should go to like either
It should be
UV or
Georgia
Georgia
Tech
Tech.
because
Georgia
Georgia
Tech
Tech.
because they're at least at the top of the standings in the ACC right now, and probably because of how low Miami is, because they're in sixth place, we don't have a chance of making the ACC championship game right now unless other teams start bottoming them out, and we only have 3 weeks left, 4 weeks left in this regular season. 3 weeks left in this regular season.
And that was the confusing part because like before the rankings came out, I was like, okay, Georgia Tech should be like maybe the highest ACC like ranked team, and they're like still like one of the top 5 highest ranked conference leaders, so they should
Well,
be somewhere in the
uh,
playoff.
I'm gonna give you the real. You know, when other teams lose in their conference, they just not as impacted as much like you are in the ACC.
Yeah,
And it's a shame that it goes down like that because the ACC as a whole has actually stepped up as a conference, but they don't get the same respect if Alabama loses 2 games. They don't get the same respect if Ohio State loses 2 games. So, with that said, Louisville is a ranked team, and SMU is a respectable team out of Texas. So it's not like um, we went out there and lost to like Wake Forest, or we went out there and lost to California. You feel me? Or Stanford.
But see,
You
the problem is
but
that those aren't brands. Louisville,
uh,
football wise, is not a brand. SMU is not a brand. The biggest problem with the ACC, at least for this year, is that Clemson and Florida State have not held up their end of the bargain, and nobody's going to respect the ACC until Florida State, Miami, and Clemson are good at the same time. That's really
this,
it, because those are the brands, and those are the brands. And honestly, if it came down to a two-loss ACC team versus a 9-3 Texas team for like the last playoff spot. They're gonna put a 9-3 Texas team, especially if even if Texas loses versus Georgia, they're out of it. You know why? Because they still play Texas A&M, and if
they
they
beat
split
yeah,
Georgia and A&M and go 9-3, trust me, they will find a way to get Texas in the playoff.
yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Because I mean, if you split those two games, I think Texas has a good chance of still getting in the playoff with 3 losses. So that's the
Because
problem with the HC though. Their
they lost.
branding, their top brands are just not carrying.
And also they just got too many fucking teams in the ACC. I'm sorry, it's just because you don't get the matchups that you kind of need a team to play. Like, let's say all 3 of those teams were good, right? T. It's only going to be a few years when all 3 teams actually get to meet up and play each other at this rate. Because we play y'all every year because it's guaranteed that we play each other through the rivalry, but we don't play Clemson this year, and we probably I gotta look at the schedule, but we probably play Clemson every other year. So what's to say that when both teams are good, we might not see each other during the regular season? Those are the type of games that you kind of need, and then like you said, you banking on other teams to step up, but like a 24 ranked Pittsburgh is not going to be that much of a draw versus like a 23 ranked Texas team or a 23 ranked LSU team. They just don't hold the same weight. You feel me? So that's why I say Miami has to convincingly win these next 3 games, and
Yeah,
then they need a lot of help. Cause I see like a lot of SEC teams they playing each other these last 3 weeks. They gonna need at least 2 SEC teams to knock each other off out of the playoffs, and then you're gonna need some help in the ACC with teams ahead of you start losing and you moving up. At least try to get closer to maybe sneaking into the ACC championship game.
but if let's say if like Notre Dame loses the Pitt, that might halfway solve your problem because we wouldn't have to worry about Notre Dame anymore, and
It's a
you would be an at-large team that could possibly take that spot.
This is true. The best thing that can happen for Miami is they need to find themselves in that 6 to 9 range, where no matter what happens, they find themselves in the playoffs because they got a large bid because they stay within that range. Being in that 10 to 12 range, you're acceptable to getting bounced out because of conference championships and team moving up because of key late wins in the season. So
Yeah. I mean, because like there's going to be most likely two. I mean, if Miami doesn't make the ACC championship, there's going to be most likely two conference champions outside of the top 10. There's going to be two, and you don't. If you're not in that top 10, then you can find yourself out of the playoff.
well, the only good thing going for Miami is it seems like Indiana, Ohio State are gearing up for the Big Ten championship game, so that's good. And then it's going to be two good teams in the SEC championship game, so that works in Miami's favor because those are going to be four teams that should be guaranteed a playoff spot regardless. It's just they can't have too much like chaos like we've been seeing the last couple of weeks affect them in a way. But honestly, I'm not even going. We talk about it, but honestly, Miami just need to handle business.
Yeah.
And they should have handled business those last two games, but Carson Beck in the offense laid some eggs in those two games, and so we find ourselves in this spot, so we just gotta have to deal with it at the moment.
And then, if like Ohio State loses to Michigan at the end, like that would actually maybe put Indiana and Oregon in the Big Ten championship possibly.
But Oregon is ranked what right now? Eighth.
Yeah.
So again, like Oregon's in a safe spot because as long as they keep winning, because
They only lost to Indiana.
their only losses are Indiana. So they in a safe spot because they in that 6 through 9 range. You in that safe spot where all you gotta do is just handle your business, and you should be in the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, look at this conversation, man. It makes things interesting. I will say that it does make things interesting.
It does feel kind of chaotic though. So like, and there's like a lot of big matchups coming up this weekend and along the way. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. Because I mean, like teams like Oklahoma could probably eliminate themselves if they lose to Alabama this weekend. So, yeah, it's gonna be, and then possibly like a team like Vanderbilt, if they win out, could find themselves in the conversation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, they already shown that out of the two lost teams between us, Texas, and Vanderbilt, they have Texas and Vanderbilt over us, and you can even see in the rankings that they have Texas over us in the college football rankings. So that's the standard that Miami is facing right now to try to get into their first college football playoff. So we're just gonna have to see how things unfold this weekend. They can't sleep on NC State. We got VTech on the road, and we got Pittsburgh on the road. And we can't sleep on either of these three teams. They gotta show up and be ready to play big man football. So we'll see how this goes, man. Let's gear up.
Yes, sir.
But all right, y'all. I guess some in-house thing that we didn't mention before. We have more breaking news. The New York Giants have fired their coach Brian Daboll after giving up a fourth 10-point plus lead game. Jackson Dart in concussion protocol for the fourth time. So we see how that goes for the Giants. Last year Heisman winner Travis Hunter, number 2 overall pick, is now officially out for the season after having knee surgery for his LCL. So we're hoping he has a speedy recovery coming up. But yeah, that's all I have. Any of y'all two have anything y'all want to mention before we wrap this up?
Going back to the NFL, you mentioned Brian Daboll. There's somebody that's on a hot seat that might be up next. Hey, Kevin Stefanski, we're all in the room, but you're the elephant. So if you wanna keep starting Dylan Gabriel, go ahead. It's almost expected. It's really expected at this point, but eventually, you're either gonna get fired because of this, or you need to just go ahead and do what you need to do. Because I mean, like if you find yourself like if you find yourself like drafting a quarterback next year, just see what you got already like on the roster. Because you're not gonna Deshaun Watson's not gonna play again for Cleveland. We've already seen like what Dylan Gabriel is capable of. I expect Shador to probably play like 3 or 4 games by the time this season's over, if they knew what they were doing, but it's clear that they don't. So I don't know, but Kevin Stefanski, don't worry, like time is ticking.
Any last words, T?
Uh, I actually don't have nothing this time around.
It's all good, man.
Do your thing, bro.
What we tell the people, Dave?
You already know what it is, man. Subscribe to the pod. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. We appreciate everybody for watching or listening, however you may be streaming this podcast. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Hit that like button if you like what you saw today, like what you saw from us from this episode. Make sure you stay up to date by following us on any of the podcast streaming platforms uh, that you may be following us on. Make sure you follow us on social media. Facebook, Instagram, X. More content is on the way. Uh, we have rant corner material. We have this episode and more to come. Football. We're getting to that. We're in the thick of November.
It's money time. Money time.
Money time. Entering now into the second half of the NFL season. We're in the last few weeks of the college football regular season. So there's a lot of big games coming up. A lot of meaningful games coming up, and also, the NBA. NBA is underway now. College basketball is underway. The matchups are just going to get better and better as we move on. So, we, appreciate everybody for staying locked in with us and staying tuned in. I do want to say, just not necessarily shout outs, but I do want to say, RIP Paul Tagliabue, a former NFL commissioner. He was a commissioner for I don't know how many years, but I remember growing up and seeing him really like take the league to another level before Roger Goodell took over. R.I.P. Lenny Wilkens. Lenny Wilkens is one of my favorite NBA coaches. He was a Raptors head coach back when in the early 2000s when Vince Carter was there. He won. I think he won a championship. I think sometime in the 80s. But yeah, Hall of Fame coach, former player as well. So yeah, just wanted to say those words.
All right. Appreciate those words, Dave. Yeah. About some good people that were good to their respective sports. So definitely got, damn. I'm sorry, y'all. This Boston Sixers game got good. But shoot. As always, we appreciate y'all listening, tuning in. As like they said, we got more content coming up. He was at the Commanders Lions game this past weekend. You don't know where we're gonna be at. Just stay tuned. We always gonna be somewhere in somebody's arena, catching up on some good content. But look, man, it's been fun. Hey, yo, it's the big three on tonight's episode. It's of course it's your boy Dre from PG. I got my boy D, Dr. Esquire Dave, and of course I got my boy T, always repping for the boys, man. Hey, it's been fun. This is Assassin 4. We out.